Oh God, body. Epi, get him.
My name is Radha Muthiah, and I'm here as the Executive Director of the Global Alliance for Clean Cookstoves. I'm here in Ghana because Ghana is one of our 8 priority countries in our effort to be able to move women away from cooking over charcoal and using fuel wood to cleaner fuels and stoves. And we have a tremendous goal in Ghana of reaching 4 million households by the year 2020. And this week we are here because it's a National Clean Cookstoves and Fuels Conference to discuss the progress that has been made and the things that we still need to do to be able to achieve this goal and give women a brighter future.
Great. And I think before this conference, you visited a number of places, Tema, Choko, and Ofanko. What is the experience like? What have you seen so far?
You know, I always try and go to the field every time I visit any of these countries because you want to be able to understand what the plight of women is and how they might be able to, you know, what their challenges are in terms of adopting some of these newer technologies and cleaner stoves. So when I was in Tema, for example, you know, I met with Lydia, and she's a pita brewer. You know, she supports her husband, 5 children, and she's there cooking over these 2 large pots, you know, and it's over an open fire. She has it indoors instead of outdoors, and the smoke is significant. And I asked her, I said, why do you at least not do this outdoors so you're not inhaling all of the smoke? And she said, this is my main source of livelihood. If there is a drop of rain outside, it destroys my whole pot of pita. So I have to do it inside. And she's inside and she's continuously stirring, you know, 2, 3, 4 hours in order to get 1 brew. And so, you know, you look at her eyes, they're yellow, she's coughing. She apologizes for that, but why should she? We should be able to provide her with something that is cleaner, fuel that is cleaner for her to use. All she's trying to do is create a better livelihood for herself and for her family. Statistics are alarming, and you know what is even more alarming is it's increasing the number of deaths related to cookstove smoke and not decreasing. So, you know, if I sat with you a year ago, I would have said around the world there are 2 million deaths. You know, today, WHO just released some numbers last week saying there are 4.3 million deaths globally as a result of exposure to cookstove smoke. In Ghana, you're a growing, thriving economy. You don't want to have 14,000 deaths, and that's the number here every year. And so those lives could be better enhanced and used, you know, to be able to contribute to the economy and their families. Now, in addition to health, there is a significant environmental impact as a result of using fuel wood and charcoal. There has been 70% deforestation in Ghana over the last couple of decades, in a large part due to fuel wood that's used for cooking. So we have gas, we have electricity, we have cleaner ways of burning and not using as much charcoal, etc. And that's what we're really here to try and promote. So we don't want the health impacts, we don't want the environmental impacts, and we want women to have more time to work, to have leisure, to spend with their children. You know, women in Ghana are spending on average 4 to 7 hours a day collecting their fuel and cooking over inefficient open fires. If they were to use a cleaner, more improved cookstove, that would cut down their time by almost half. On cooking, and they could spend that other time in much more valuable, you know, pursuits of their choice.
So talk to the women watching you now. What do you want to tell them, particularly those who are cooking on open fire?
I want the women to know that this is not the way it has to be. Many of us assume that this is the way our mothers cooked, our grandmothers cooked, so we should cook this way. But in essence, there are other solutions available, local, Ghanaian-made cookstoves and fuels. Look for them. They're available in your market. We are going to create greater awareness campaigns that will make, you know, all of the folks more aware of this. But, you know, some women tell me it's expensive. You know, where am I going to go to afford this? And so I'm here to tell you that, you know, if you look at the amount of money you spend on charcoal, you will use far less charcoal with a much more improved, cleaner stove. So actually, it won't cost you as much in the long run. And of course, if you're moving to a LPG stove, a gas stove, we are working on credit terms and payment over time for you to be able to afford this. So raise your voice and ask for one of these cleaner cookstoves. It's good for you and for your family.
A woman out there is watching you and she's waiting and asking the question, when is this clean cookstoves coming up?
So I would answer that in two ways, depending on where you are in the country. If you're in more urban, peri-urban areas, and the government now has a LPG for rural areas program, ask about that, because the pilots are beginning right now. So the government has 10 regions and 10 pilots that they're thinking of doing over the next 3 years. So for some, LPG will be coming to you very quickly, and it helps if you can raise it through your district assemblies, etc., to say, make us one of those pilot regions so that we can have access to it. For some of the others, it's important to know that the manufacturers are here. There are many in Ghana, in Kumasi, who are spreading their distribution networks wide. And so go to your local markets and ask for these clean cook stoves and fuels, because they will be coming soon. And you will start to hear radio advertisements, TVs, market days. You will start to hear much more about this in the next couple of months.
How well are you collaborating with the Ministry of Energy in this whole business? Because I read in the media that they will be distributing 50,000 cylinders to villages.
Yes, we're collaborating extremely closely, and it's the Ministry of Energy, the Energy Commission. We're also collaborating with the Ministries of Health, Education, and Environment. And you're right, the Rural LPG program, which I referred to, has a goal of 50,000 stoves and cylinders this year. Their goal overall over the next 3 years is 300,000. And so we're collaborating with them. But this is a public-private partnership, so that's the public element. The private is who's making these cylinders, who's making these stoves. That's the private sector right here in Ghana, and some importers as well who have assembly plants, etc. So there's a lot of movement towards this, and so we're excited to continue to help facilitate and catalyze the sector so that there's choice for women and families around the country in terms of what they can use.
Two brand idols, Stephen Appiah and Rocky Downey, at least Ghanaians associate themselves with them. Who are they and what are they doing on this platform?
They are, as you say, tremendous celebrities who have a clear voice and influence over many in Ghanaian society. And we at the Global Alliance and the Ghana Alliance for Clean Cook Stoves are truly honored and privileged to have them as ambassadors for clean cooking in Ghana and around the world. Of course, Rocky Downey, has a tremendous voice. Ghanaians know him for his voice, his entertainment capability, but he is extremely serious when it comes to this issue of clean cooking. He's with us this week. He's been traveling around, to really ensure that this message gets spread far and wide, and he'll be joining us at the conference as well. Ghana is a football country for sure, especially in this year of the World Cup, and so it is our privilege to have your former captain, and someone who is so well respected and revered, using his skills, not just to kick the ball, but to really champion this issue of clean cook stoves from his hometown in Chokor to all of the other communities around Ghana. You mentioned two celebrities. I'd like to add one more. The government is so important, and we've wanted a strong transformational figure in the government to be a champion as well. And this week, your Minister of Foreign Affairs, Hannah Tete, has joined the Alliance's Leadership Council. And you all in Ghana know how strong and transformational she is. And so we're really looking forward to her carrying the flag and the torch, if you will, to ensure that cooking doesn't kill here in Ghana.
What do you want to add? What do you want to tell women and children?
Sure.
Open air and smoke.
I'm glad you added children to that. This message does have to go to women, of course, but children definitely, because children are running around in these communities as well. And children are the future, and so for children in particular, we want to say, ask in your families, why are we still cooking this way? There are other stoves and fuels available. Let's transition to that. We want to be healthier. And so we want children to carry this message back home to their parents. We know how influential children can be, and this is a message that impacts their health and impacts their family's health as well. To women, I say we are trying to create this market. All women want choice. We want things that are appealing, are interesting, will work for us, and that's what we're all at the Ghana Alliance for Clean Cook Stoves and the Global Alliance trying to do. Provide that accessibility, have it be available in your markets, have you choose from different models. But we need you to play a role. We need you to raise your voice and say, women cannot be hampered by cooking the way we have cooked for centuries. Women deserve a chance to do much, much more, to lead healthier lives. And clean cooking, stoves and fuels is an essential ingredient to our future.
Very well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.